Ling Huiyin.
For 2,000 years, power had periodically changed hands in China from one dynasty to the next. Each time, the new ruler would do something to leave his mark on history. Xiang Yu, for example, after overthrowing the Qin dynasty, left the magnificent Pang Palace in Xi'an to burn for 3 months. So Chinese scholars have always looked upon any wooden building from the ancient past that has managed to survive as something of a miracle. The same was true in Japan. The Japanese scholars in China had particular regard for what they believed to be China's oldest wooden structure, a hall built in the year 1038 inside Huiyin Temple in Datong, Shanxi province. The Bojia Jiaotangdian, or library that keeps Buddhist texts, lies within Huiyin Temple. Dating from the time of the Liang dynasty nearly 1,000 years ago, it houses 31 elaborately wrought statues, and lined up against its walls are 38 wooden cabinets containing Buddhist scriptures. In the centre and front of the back wall is an extraordinary miniature suspended palace. The wooden cabinets form the oldest book depository in China, but were they, as the Japanese scholars claimed, the oldest wooden structure in China? In the early 1930s, a team of Chinese archaeologists working in the northwest discovered some 2,000-year-old inscribed wooden slips dating from the Han dynasty. This discovery convinced Liang Sicheng that somewhere in China there must be wooden structures from the later Tang dynasty waiting to be found. In the spring of 1932, a team from the Society for the Study of Chinese Architecture working in Jixian County, less than 100 kilometers from Beijing, discovered a wooden structure dating from the Liao dynasty. Today, it's possible to travel to the site from Beijing in less than 2 hours, but back then, the journey took an entire day. It was an unforgettable experience, the first time I'd left a main road to make an off-road field trip. If it had been in the United States, our old motor vehicle would have long ago been sold as scrap. But here it still managed the journey between Beijing and distant Jixian, shuttling to and fro regularly, or more accurately, irregularly. The Bodhisattva Tower at Dula Temple is perched on the city wall, which makes it visible over a considerable distance. It's a long-standing belief among the local people that their happiness is somehow linked to the temple, so they've been careful to look after it. The tower has survived 1,000 years of warfare and disasters, and its survival proves an important fact that the lifespan of a wooden structure has less to do with the variety of wood used in building it than one might expect.
五亿人最多，11亿，相当人多。我没让你去过，让你去那几十块钱，我没有钱。我有钱我都去了，我没有钱我怎么去啊？
没进去了，买票。
Liang Sicheng's research showed that the temple was built in 987 AD. This made it 51 years older than the scripture library at Huiyin Temple. In an entry in his journal for 1932, Liang Sicheng wrote, "The tower and its gate are definitely the oldest wooden structures so far discovered in China. Their significance in Chinese architectural history is beyond words." Apart from its age, the ancient structure was significant for another reason. It helped Liang Sicheng understand the mysterious ancient text, Yingzhao Fa Shi, building standards.
因为很多东西啊，在宋朝法师上见过，譬如车脚啊、升旗啊、斗拱啊，而蓟县独乐寺呢，恰恰是它反映了宋代 唐宋早期建筑的形制，所以他特别兴奋。很多看不懂的人，通过这个调查，他弄明白了。而这些东西呢，在他过去调查清代的故宫，弄不明白。
In the 1930s, Dule Temple was regularly commandeered as a makeshift military camp. Liang Sicheng was horrified by the damage the soldiers caused and called for an end to its use for military purposes and the immediate start of preservation work. Liang Sicheng wrote, "As the oldest wooden structure so far discovered in the country, and one which is also fairly complete, this is a national treasure, the value of which one can never overestimate. In another country, such a man-made marvel would be treated with the utmost respect. The Jishan people, though they have cared for it out of their love, have neither the resources nor the knowledge needed for the task. The structure is at the mercy of the elements and passing soldiers. Unless we do something now, this 1,000-year-old national treasure will be another Jianzhang or Erpang palace, lost permanently in history." Dule Temple today receives the care Liang Sicheng demanded for it. It is listed as a key historic building and given state protection. Even burning incense inside is prohibited. But this has its drawbacks, since a temple without incense is not, in some quarters at least, considered a proper temple at all. But the lack of activity is a good thing for the temple. In 1932, the Journal of the Society for the Study of Chinese Architecture published Liang Sicheng's studies on the gate of the Bodhisattva Tower at Dule Temple of Jishan County. The article caused a sensation in Japanese architectural circles, since it undermined the claim by Japanese scholars concerning the oldest extant wooden structure in China. Dule Temple, it was now known, had been rebuilt at the time of the transition from the Tang to the Song dynasty, and this explained why its style was something between the two.